Feel all right? We're just gonna talk. We're just gonna talk about writing. I love writing. I love storytelling. It is my heart. I It's the thing that my sister and I we do all the time. Like when we're driving, when we're at the grocery store, we're just like thinking about things all the time. So like the Moon Odyssey is our first project for our studio, but we have so many more projects and other stories to create like later down the line. But
Um,
do you want to?
do you want them to all be animated?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think at some point we might dabble into like filmmaking and doing like shorts and stuff like that. But like that's a whole nother area. You know what I mean? But why not?
Yeah,
Why not give it a go
amazing.
and see where it goes? But do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and what
Yeah,
got you into the love of writing and screenwriting?
yeah. So, I've loved writing ever since I was little, as I think we probably all do. You too, Micah. um, I got into screenwriting in college because I really like, incorporating music into it as well, and the visuals that I love. I want to write a book too.
Yeah.
I'm working on it, but I like specifically screenplays so you can pull in other senses a lot to it. So even though my day job is an event coordinator, I've been freelancing for 4 years as a few different things, but script reader, script consultant. I'll review scripts for production companies or distribution companies, and then I'll let them know either developmental notes or I'll let them know just if they should pass, consider or recommend a story. So I wrote a really bad apocalypse book, like so bad, right before the pandemic.
Uh-huh.
And then that's what got me interested in wanting to understand more of like the science behind storytelling. And that's why
Yes.
I got into the freelance stuff
Yeah.
because, reading other people's really good work, I think makes you inherently better too.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, I agree. How old were you when you made the apocalypse story?
I like 24
Okay,
and
yeah. It's still
you
young.
know
It's
how they
still
say
pretty
like
young.
you know how they say like write what you know?
Yeah.
I when I was little, I used to hate that because I was like, I want to write about dragons, and I'm never
Hmm.
going to know a dragon.
Yeah.
But after writing that apocalypse thing,
Hmm.
I wrote someone who like I had no business writing about.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how to be like a baddie who saves the world, so it just
Right.
didn't translate very well.
Hmm. Yeah. I get that. I think we all need that one story or that one project that was just like, what was I thinking? When I was in
Yeah.
college, I wrote okay. I wrote a trilogy. I used to be like very heavy in the church, and I'm not anymore. But I wrote this trilogy about like end times, and I don't know if you're familiar with like end times are like in Christianity, but it's like this period of time of like what the world is going to be like before Jesus comes back. And it's just going to be like this lawless land. And it's just like, and I'm sitting
Mhm.
here thinking that like I've always loved writing. I always loved like, creating stories. So when I was in church, I was like, man, I can't use this love that I have or this gift that I have. And I have to use it for God in some way. So that's the way that I chose. And it was hot garbage. It was so, 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 so bad. It was so bad. I had no business. I had no right trying to make a trip like, and it was like about this family who was just like, we're just martyrs for Jesus. We're just martyrs for Jesus. And there was like an element of love to it, right? Because like I'm talking about like a family and I'm drawing on like my own experiences. So like there are like those little things in those stories where it's like it's a part of you, so it rings true and it sometimes it might translate well. But the
Mhm.
whole scope of it was just it was bad. It was poorly written. It was not edited. It was not, and just like the overall message of the story just was not it. But it's one of those things that I like. I don't. of course, I don't tell people about, because again, like, I don't believe that anymore. But it's just like it needed to happen because I know I know how bad it was. Like, going back and looking at it, like, you need something that's just like you
Yeah.
just put all in, and you just look back at it and like, like, what was that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's also like a badge of honor. Like, you earned your stripes a little bit. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you said it was you had little elements about your family in it,
Yeah.
and I feel like your the Moon Odyssey also has little nuggets of your family.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool that you kept that like through line.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. It's a common theme. It's a common theme with a lot of things that that I write. House of Frank, which is my debut novel. There's elements of found family in it, but it also draws from real life. And I actually just sent off my manuscript for the prequel to my agent,
Oh,
and so that's going to be rolling soon. And that has nothing to do, I mean, that has everything to do with my family, because like I really drew on the time of my life of just like growing up and just being with my mom, and just dealing with when she was sick, like that whole year of like her basically clinging to life. And the prequel for House of Frank is telling the story about a witch who basically put her life on hold for to care for her sick parent, and then when they pass, it's like, what do I do now? And so it draws from real life, but yeah. But I'll keep on talking. I'm sorry. I'll keep talking. I got the gift of gab, girl. I'll keep talking. Talking about nothing. But I wanted to ask you, like, what are some of your favorite pieces of media? So, like, movies, books, games, anything like that.
yeah.
Hmm.
I really love for the especially for the purposes of like breaking down structure and stuff.
Yeah.
Mulan. I love a
Yes.
lot of those classics.
Hmm.
I love It's a Wonderful Life,
Hmm.
La La Land,
Yes.
Sing Sing, which is a little newer of a
What
film.
is it?
Um, Sing Sing.
Sing Sing? What's
It
that?
features Carmen Domingo. It's about a group of incarcerated men, and they have a club where they are actors. They put on plays and stuff.
Hmm.
Really sweet.
Sing
Um,
Sing. And I love that's my
what
man,
else?
Carmen Domingo. Ooh, I love him.
Oh, I could listen to him recite a receipt, and I'd
Right,
be clocked in.
right, right. But so those are the
Um,
ones that you like, and what else you said?
um, just like I'm because I was a '90s baby. A lot
Hmm.
of that Disney nostalgia,
Yeah,
Pixar stuff.
yeah,
Um, yeah.
yeah.
Honestly, the list could be 100
Right, right.
films long.
What do you like about Mulan? Like, what's the thing that draws you to it? Because, like, is it a movie that you can go back and rewatch?
Yeah. I actually just rewatched it like a weekend ago.
Ain't no shame.
I I I like that you can rewatch it. I like that the theme holds up.
Yeah,
I watched it quite a bit when I was trying to understand how to understand story structure.
yeah.
So I reference it mentally a lot when I'm trying to do like little writing tip videos
Right.
on TikTok. Or yeah, it's just like it's got a great message.
Hmm.
The soundtrack,
Yes, of
ugh,
course.
so good.
Always, always. Yeah, I think because like I'm a '90s kid too, so the nostalgia always runs deep. But
Yeah,
one day my sister and I, we were talking about like some of our favorite like animated movies, and we kind of like listed our top five. And part of that top five is like I really love The Incredibles. I really love Coraline. And what surprised me, like, that when I thought about it, I was like, I really like Finding Nemo. But the funny thing is, like, Finding Nemo isn't necessarily my favorite movie. However, when you look at Finding Nemo and you look at it from like a visual storytelling viewpoint, it hits so many beats that it keeps you so engaged. Like just from the jump
Mhm.
with the beginning, with the shark coming, and then like what's the guy's name? Marvin. Marvin?
Marlon.
Marlin.
Marlon.
Yes, Marlin. Marlon and like the wife and that whole scene, and when she looks down and you see that she's about to go get her baby, it conveys so much. It's such strong storytelling. It's on point,
Mhm.
right? And
It's
it really,
incredible.
yeah, it really captivates you. And I think one of the things that probably draws me to it, because I really love the ocean and I love like space and things like that, natural, phenomena. But it has like a certain whimsical, like just a wonder to it. Like this whole journey of like him leaving this small space that he knows and going out into like the great unknown for the sake of his son. And that is a primal
Mhm.
instinct that I think that we can all feel, even if we don't have children. That feeling of like, I'm ready to risk everything to get to the person that I care the most about. And I just think it's kind of funny because like Finding Nemo itself is not my favorite movie, but I think it tells a story so well, from like just the characters and him finding a friend and someone who has like lapse of memory, and like there's humor in it too. But it's this adventure and it just like hits on so many beats. And one of the
Yeah.
things that I really noticed about you and like what you post on your social media, and what like really drew me to you, is like the way that you understand and break down story, and like you'll give like examples of like different arcs and like what your character can do if they get stuck, and or if you get stuck and you don't know how to progress the storyline. And when I see your examples, and like I'm like, yes, absolutely, this reminds me of this movie, or this reminds me of like this book. What is some of your favorite like story structures, like story arcs?
We can actually go through, I have my little writing roadmap that we can
Yes, I love.
review real quick. Um, I, you know,
Hmm.
I love writing too. A little nerd, little pocket.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Um, Some of my favorite. So the thing that I think is most important in a story, and it sounds like you too, because like even with the Nemo example,
Yeah.
is to make sure that the character has catharsis.
Hmm.
You want as you know, you want the character to start and end in different places.
Yes.
Um, and in order to do that, and the reason I'm prefacing this is because it builds into the character arcs that I'll go over. But in order to do that, you need to have a theme, or some people get like overwhelmed, I think, by theme.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever have, but I certainly have,
Hmm. Hmm.
especially with apocalypse thing and all that jazz.
Yeah.
It's like you start with a lesson that you want to shout to the world, and then your character needs to start with a misbelief that's the opposite of that thing, because on the journey that they go on, they need to grow towards understanding that theme at the end.
Right.
So, with that in mind, some of my favorite arcs, for the tragedy arc, I really like I don't know if this helps, but it's the
I
Oedipus arc.
I love your little
It might be.
no, it's fine. The Oedipus arc. Okay, explain that.
So it starts. I'll actually explain it with Romeo and Juliet, just because I think it's pretty accessible.
Hmm.
But the characters will start at the top. They're pretty fortunate. So you've got Romeo and Juliet. They're rich. They're
Hmm.
pretty happy.
Yeah.
They fall in love, and then the downfall is that they realize they can't be together. Their families are really hateful towards each other,
Hmm.
and then their emotional arc, as well as the external plot, rises again because they're like, well, we have a plan. We're going to figure out a way to be together.
Yeah.
And so you think that it's going to be a happy ending,
Hmm.
but then it falls again because the plan goes horribly awry,
Right. Right.
right?
Right. Right.
And it teaches, even though it's a tragedy and
Hmm.
it's an unhappy ending, it still conveys that theme to not be hateful
Yeah.
to the audience, through that family's loss.
Yeah.
So I think that the Oedipus arc is a really effective way to go through a bunch of different emotional beats,
Mhm.
even if it's not just happening to the main characters, even if the supporting characters are the ones who feel the effects of the theme.
Yeah, I agree.
So
Hmm.
yeah, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I kind of like the ones
Yeah,
that
it
hurt a little
hurts.
bit, you know?
It hurts so good. Because it's funny because I told my sister this, like I love the story of Icarus and like just the different types of stories that mirror Icarus, right? So like I even think Hamilton is a good example of that, of someone who uh basically had everything but you just kept going, you just kept, you could have stopped right at any point, but like you just kind of got the this notion that you're invincible, and it just comes,
Mm-hmm.
it all comes crumbling down and it hurts so, I don't know how to explain it, but it just, it hurts so good. I feel like I don't know if you're an anime fan, but I feel like Attack on Titan is kind of like that. With Aaron Yeager, he gets in his mind of like it's so twisted on how he eradicates 80% of the population, and it's like you had the right idea but you went too far, you know what I mean, and like
Mm-hmm.
now look what happened, like look at what you did, and I think it's just, it's one of those stories where it's like it doesn't have a happy ending, but like I'm just glad that we went on this journey, I'm glad I was here for
Mm-hmm.
that.
It's like like the cautionary tale type of
Yes,
thing.
yes,
I
yes,
actually don't
yes.
know what's it called.
Oh, Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan. I'll have to
Yeah.
watch it.
Ooh,
It kind of reminds me of
I'm about to still just
Thanos.
my fault. My
No,
fault.
you're
I'm
good.
sorry. But yeah, I really love those types of stories where like you said, it's like a cautionary tale. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so instead, be prepared. Yeah, it starts off crazy. I don't know how okay you are with like, I wouldn't say it's that gory. I don't know. The deaths
Oh,
are
I'm fine with
pretty.
gore.
Oh, okay. They're it's pretty gruesome. Okay, I won't say anymore. My fault. My fault. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to spoil it. You know,
You're
but
good.
it's a really good. It's a really really good show. Another good show is I don't know if you've seen it, but Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. That's another one of my like favorite series. Have you seen it?
You know, my coworker Victor, he just told me that I need to watch that.
Yes. It
It's in my notes app.
peak storytelling. Oh my, like just from beginning to the end, like everything is so well thought out. I it's one of those shows where I'm like I have no notes. Like the women are well written and just I just love it. I've probably watched it through like 3 or 4 times. Um Probably like twice with myself, once with my sister, and another time with my friend. And it's just
Oh,
it's
that's when you know it's good.
yeah, it is. It really is. Like it's one of those shows like where you just gotta go back and rewatch it. It aged well too.
You gotta do your.
Donna, Donna. I'm like I hear something. Is she muted?
Oh, can you hear
Yeah, you're not muted, girl.
me?
She's
Sorry,
at
guys.
she's at work.
It's probably really loud. I had the I had the worst last hour.
Okay.
Worst.
Mm.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'll tell you about it.
Okay. But
Okay. But hello, everybody. My name. Sorry. Hello, everyone. My name's Dominique. I am a nurse, and I'm at work right now. So, some stuff, putting out some fires and
yeah,
stuff.
saving
You know.
lives. Yeah.
But I heard what you were saying about Icarus. This one, she loves her
Oh my, the
cautionary tales here.
drama.
People burn up and fizzle from their own, goals that they have.
Mhm. Yeah,
Well, good deed.
we were talking about some of our favorite like animated. movies. She really loves Mulan. I talked about how I
Mhm.
liked Finding Nemo, even though it's like not my favorite, but just from a storytelling point of view.
I I'm a little so like things made an impact on me. The everyone Lion King, all those things. But there's some elements about some other films like Rescuer Down Under.
Yes.
That's like animated, like the Golden Feather, all of that, and that whole thing, and the Great Mouse Detective.
Your audio's
Mhm.
cutting.
Oh,
It's
classic.
messing up. Can you hear?
Here,
Your audio's cutting out. Could you hear her, Ashley?
Yes.
Oh, you
It
can.
was a little, but I heard parts.
Okay. Um, but yeah, she mentioned Rescue Down Under. That is another household favorite. Yeah. There's a whimsical nature to it, like the animals having their own little lifestyle and a pea soup, you know.
Mhm.
Like I want some pea soup, you
Mhm.
know. I want to be a part of that, you know. um,
You
but
guys,
At
do you
least
guys
they have like the.
remember?
go ahead.
Sorry.
What happened?
Do you remember the Iron Giant, or have you
That
seen the
was
Wild
another
Robot
one.
recently?
Yes, that was
So
another
good.
one. My sister actually has that. Did she leave? Oh, she hit her thing. My sister actually has an Iron Giant tattoo, and I might get one too. But
Okay.
Iron Giant is beautiful,
Peak.
beautiful story. Oh my god! Like just the, of course, like the storytelling, right? But like the characters feel so lived in. Oh, you have VHS of the Iron Giant? We're actually collecting a DVD collection of like some of our like old stuff. So we have like Hey Arnold. Actually, she just got Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't know why I brought that up, but anyway, um, but like we have like a whole bunch of things that we're trying to stock up on our collection. But yes, the Iron Giant is, I love it so much. Yeah.
So good.
What's one of the favorite things
And
that you
the
like about
Wild.
it?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Myself since I'm like popping in and out. So okay,
What?
I'm going to mute myself.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cause she cut out. Oh, she cut out again. But what were you saying, Ashley?
Um, I don't know. But have you seen the Wild Robot recently?
Yes. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
came
Yeah.
out.
Yes. Yeah. That
Kind of
was really good too.
reminiscent of the Iron Giant.
Mhm. We need more movies like that. You know, I feel like there we hit kind of like a lull of like uh good storytelling. Like we had like a renaissance era of like these really great movies, and then I don't know what happened.
I think it's because of IP and because everything. So it's sometimes sad on my end because
Yeah.
I'll see these scripts that people are trying to get produced, and they're beautiful and they're whimsical and they're moving. And in addition to the scripts, they'll send these pitch decks with the IP and the merchandise they could sell if this story sells and like all of this other money related stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that some of those like whimsy stories that aren't coming through, it might be because of IP reasons.
Yeah. It's possible. Um I remember I had a talk with my publisher. They're like a little mix of like traditional and indie. So like they really utilize community to um, uplift like more marginalized stories. So like a lot of queer stories, a lot of like BIPOC stories. And one of the things that the the CEO, we were talking, and she was like, my story House of Frank probably, not to say that it wouldn't have made the shelves, but bigger publishing companies like the big five, or I guess now it's the big four, right? Because one of them merged. Um, they're not looking for these unique stories. Like Sony just they announced that they canceled the one story with who was writing it? Was it Rebecca Sugar and Matt from?
Yes.
Yes, right. What's his name? God,
It was Rebecca Sugar and Matthew something from Amphibia.
yes, and it was they were going to do a story about Thai culture and like the spirits and stuff, and Sony canceled it, and it's like
Oh,
why? Like people want to watch something like that. But y'all are putting so much marketing and so much energy towards like a movie like Goat with like Stephen Curry, and it's like okay, like I get it, like kids will come and see it, and like people will watch it, but like you have this beautiful story with beautiful characters and with a message that would resonate with so many people, and you cancel it because it's not marketable. And I think
yeah.
that's why a lot of people are going indie, and people who are in traditional spaces are looking to go indie because they want to tell the
Mhm.
stories that they want to tell, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm starting to want to pivot into doing audio dramas
Mm.
rather than going the traditional screenwriting route, because then if you have even semi successful audio drama, then it's more likely to be able to adapt it into the screenplay. So I
Hmm.
totally see what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at least we know that those stories are there
Yeah.
and there
Yeah.
will be an audience for them.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I
Just
think
gotta
people
find it.
are excited about it, and I love like going on like Instagram or like on Threads and seeing people like, hey, I'm making this new story, or anybody else want to join me to make such and such. I'm like, yeah, heck yeah! Like people are trying to get their stories told and just like go out there and just do it, and I love to see it because it's so needed. And there's so many good things out there too. Uh,
Yeah.
let me see. I had another question. When you first start crafting like an original story, what's like one of the first things that you do first? First things.
The first thing I do is the theme and the misbelief that
Oh
we
yes.
kind of talked about.
Mhm.
But then after that, I try to look at that theme and see like, okay, now how can I make the concept different?
Mhm.
And what I mean by that is, a ton of stories have been like you can look at the rom com genre, right?
Mhm.
Tons of stories have been done using that rom com formula, but a lot of times that story isn't necessarily told through like the neighbor who's been watching that rom com's POV, you
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
or like let's say Pride and Prejudice, how the sisters are kind of villainized.
Mhm.
What if they told a story from the villainized sisters POV? I think you'd actually see a really feminist reimagining of it if you looked at it from her perspective.
Yeah.
So I kind of try to look at the messaging that I want to do and see if there's any gaps in the normal genres
Mhm.
that I could plug that in.
Yeah. So I'm just writing down some notes to type this up later because it's good, it's good information. You know what you're talking about. Um, but yeah, I agree. It's a way to turn a tired genre like on its head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I even think like the theme of like cozy fantasy, for instance. Like they're always setting up like a bookshop or or a restaurant or a cafe or something. You know what I mean? And it's refreshing to see something where it's like it's something like a little bit different. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
I don't know if you know Natalia Hernandez, but she did like a cozy fantasy called Siri and the Amaru, and it's like this Peruvian adventure, and it's a different take on like this rom com like cozy fantasy. You know what I mean? Um, but looking for that white space is a really good idea. Um,
Yeah.
are you more of a plotter, or do you like pants your way through like a concept?
I have to plot.
Mm-hmm.
I admire those who can just fly by the seat of their pants. When I do that, I just end up with a bunch of random brain dumps.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
do you prefer?
Well, I used to be a plotter. I used to plot everything before I got started. Like I would have an outline for everything, But with the last couple of projects, I've been just making up things as I go, and then once it's finished, I kind of go back. I kind of work backwards, and like for example, the last manuscript I just finished, I wrote everything down, and then I went back to each chapter and I summarized each chapter to see like what am I talking about here and here and here, and then see where like what common threads there are. And I use post-its a lot. Side note, we try to get post-its to sponsor us for this show, and they said that they'll think about it. So hopefully we'll be getting some brand deals, but because we use post-its a lot, like you should see my wall, it's crazy. Um, but I use post-its a lot to color coordinate like my characters, what journey they're going on. A lot of my stories are character driven. Um, what do you prefer? Do you prefer like character driven stories or like plot driven stories? Sometimes they just interweave too.
Yeah. I think I always prefer a character driven story. However, I think, of course, there's something to also be said for you want to make sure that that external plot is kind of putting that character driven arc on like a boilerplate.
Yeah.
Um, have you watched the recent, they just came out on Netflix, People We Meet on Vacation?
No,
For
but
Chan?
I know the book. Seeing the book, I was just like, I don't know if I would like that. But that's Emily Henry, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I guess a good. I'll just explain it a little bit. The hotel room that they're staying in the book is like really hot. Like they're in Palm Springs, I want to say, and even though that's like not a huge plot point, it kind of boilerplates the tension that they have. So I just think that any external plot you can do to emphasize those character arcs, anything helps, you know?
Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah, that's interesting. Is there any like movies or books that you've read and you're like, man, I would do this differently? Like this, they had a really good idea going with this, but yeah,
They crashed and burned.
yeah.
Like,
So many, yeah,
okay,
right.
so a few. Um, did you ever watch the Game of Thrones? The
No, I
first.
haven't actually. I know
Really?
it's
Oh
yeah,
my god.
it's a big meal to eat, but what
That's
happened?
fair. Well, so a lot of the character arcs, they got a lot of flack. I was okay with the ending. It was fine. But a lot of the different character arcs just kind of fell flat. So, for example, there's this one character, his name is Jaime Lannister, and he starts off like the most evil man you could possibly think of, right? And he gets all of his self identity and self worth from the fact that he's like a really good soldier, right? He's called the Kingslayer because he played a king. Then and he's a horrible person. He pushes a little boy out of the castle. That's on episode 1, so I'm not spoiling it.
Okay. Oh my
He pushes the little boy out of the castle. He's like this evil big bad wolf. He ends up losing his hand, and with it, his sense of identity, because that's kind of what you know, that's what gave him worth, was being able to fight. And then he kind of builds back up and somehow kind of redeems himself. He does a lot. He pairs up a lot with these like characters that the previous version of himself would never have even spoken to. And then the reason it was disappointing is because he ends up dying because he returns to be with his sister, who represents who he was at the beginning of the series. He returns to her. Well, they're kind of together, but he returns to her.
I'm sorry, what?
And I think,
Oh,
I know,
those are the siblings that like the oh okay,
yeah,
all right.
yeah. He returns to her, and they're kind of like they've been evil together. So you're just so disappointed that after all of this growth, he just kind of ends where he starts. And like we said earlier, you want a character to go through a change. You want them to start and end in different spots. But I think they could have killed him off. If they wanted to kill him, they could have still done that. But they could have had him die for something that he learned to stand behind. You know what I mean?
Right.
a less heavy example, I don't know if you ever have seen Gilmore Girls.
Mm-mm. I've heard of it though.
Basically, there is a best friend. Her name is Elaine, and she's got it kind of rough. Her mom's very strict, and Lane doesn't really fit into the pressures that her mom has put on her for their culture and for their religion. She wants to be this like rock star, and she like hides her guitar in the floorboards and all this stuff. And then at the end of the series, she ends up with having twins, and she's kind of confined back into this very just cookie cutter relationship life. She lets go of all of the rock and roll stuff. And I just thought that was so disappointing because we, for years, wanted her to grow into herself and then she just kind of regressed.
Yeah. It seems like wasted potential.
Yeah. Yeah. And you just, like I said, you want them to end different than they started.
Right. I agree. When you are reading a script, because you said that you consult for screenplays, what's something that you see a lot of screenwriters do that you wish that they would kind of like stop doing?
Yeah. The first thing, do you want like story structure in general or like screenplay specifically?
Either one. It doesn't really matter.
I
Yeah.
don't know. The first one is a lot of times they take way too long to get started. They'll tell us that they just woke up from a scary dream and what their skincare routine is and how breakfast tastes and how the drive to work was. When really I want to see the fight that they have with their boss where they quit. That's where I want to start it, you know?
Yeah. That inciting action. Yeah.
Yes, the hook.
Yes.
Exactly, like you're the Finding Nemo with the mom.
Mm-hmm.
1000%.
That's my jam.
And other than that, like I said, if there's no catharsis, that's kind of a bummer. Um, One thing, I like subplots a lot. They can add a lot. A subplot from in my opinion, and I'm not like no all be all, but in my opinion, subplots can really kind of also shed light on the theme that you're trying to teach, but they take a different route there than the main character takes. So if we have a script that's like good, it could be excellent if the subplots also kind of supported that same or similar idea.
Yeah.
And then the other thing would be um, if they don't treat those supporting characters like full individuals.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You don't want flat characters like side characters.
Yeah. And it's so easy to make a character feel fully fleshed out, even if they don't get a ton of screen time. You can just give them a detail, like a in It's a Wonderful Life. One of the side characters always goes like hee haw. His nickname is Hee Haw, and he'll just go hee haw in certain scenes, and that's so silly, but he feels real because he has that quirk. Way more interesting than him just being like a neighbor guy. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Yeah, because sometimes side characters can feel like they just exist for the main character or just for the plot. It's just like you're just here. Like, don't you have a job? Aren't you married? Like, like why are you here? So that's
Yeah,
something
for sure.
important to keep in mind. Do you have any references to get better at writing or
Like
advice?
advice in general. Um, I would start if anyone wants to understand structure more and stuff like that. When you're rewatching something that you really love, um, take notes. So what I did to learn in the beginning was I printed out a generic 3 act structure template, and then I started to fill in what I thought was the hook, what I thought was the inciting incident, what I thought was the midpoint, what is the climax, da 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 da. Or you can try to guess and then and write it all down, and then as you're watching it, kind of correct yourself. And I feel like that kind of just taught me the flow of structure by watching things that I already liked. Another thing I would recommend is to, when you're editing, to try to put as much white space on the paper as possible.
As much white space?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by white
So, by white space, I mean cross out anything that doesn't push either the emotional arc forward
space?
or the plot points momentum forward. Because I see a lot of people, they'll like describe how this character has earrings and how they thought the sunset was pretty that day, and like cross as much of that out as you can. That gives more space for you to write things that are emotionally or plot
Yeah,
driven.
yeah, yeah. That's smart. You just focus on the things, yeah, on the things that add to the story. Because if you're sitting there and you're
Yeah.
describing like this beautiful flower and how it blows in the wind, it's like, is this flower going to come back up? Chekhov's gun. Like, it's
Yeah.
what's the purpose of this? Beautiful imagery.
Exactly.
I'm right there. I can see the flower. I feel the breeze. But it's just like, what's this gotta do? Oh, there's his library books. Sorry, I just got sidetracked. Because I was looking for my nephew's library books this earlier. Anyway, but
Support your library. I love that.
Yes, of course, of course. Yeah, we love our library. But I'm trying to see if there's anything else.
I just thought of another tip for your writing. I think that whether you're editing or writing a new scene, if you picture pushing a boulder up a hill, you want your scenes to be doing that. You want the end goal to be, or that top of the hill to be the conclusion, and you want every single scene to be moving it forward. That's how I try to explain visualizing that. And then you also want to make sure that at the start of the film or the book that your character has a goal, and that pursuing that goal pushes them out of their comfort zone. Because being pushed out of their comfort zone, that's going to be where they're going to grow.
Yeah.
And that's where the tension is.
Yeah, this might sound random, but one of my favorite episodes of Avatar: The Last Airbender, and it's funny because I feel like this might not be anyone else's favorite episode, but it's the episode where Aang learns to earthbend for the first time, and it's such a weird episode because like it takes place in one kind of setting. They're camping out somewhere. Sokka gets stuck in a hole for basically the whole episode, but he kind of goes through his own journey of like being self-reliant, and I just think that the reason why I like it so much is because they did so much with so little. Like there wasn't like a big battle. There wasn't like this big journey that they're going on. Everything was internal. So like Aang he's an airbender by birth, but he's learning how to earthbend, which is his like complete opposite. And one of the things that always stuck with me that Toph, the earthbender, was trying to teach him, because he was trying to move a rock and he's looking at it in different ways. Like if I move the wind, if I do this, I can get it to move. But she's like, no, it's not going to move unless you move it. Like you have to face it head on. You're trying to move the earth thinking like an airbender, but you got to think like an earthbender. Like you're going against your polar opposite. And it's a weird I just feel like it's kind of weird because like there's not anything really grand happening in this episode, but it's a episode that always kind of stuck out to me because this is where Aang really got out of his comfort zone, and you get to the point at the end of the episode where they finally find Sokka, and Sokka being stuck in the hole is like basically comedy relief, right? But it's also him telling his own personal journey too. And Aang ends up finding him, and like this beast is about to attack Sokka, and he's stuck. And Aang is trying to think of like these other ways, because airbenders, they're like pacifists, they don't like violence, they try to handle things peacefully. So he's trying to redirect the beast, he's trying to distract it, and none of it is working until like he faces the beast head on, and like he ends up like saving Sokka. So like it's a very small episode where the theme is like, it's not subtle, right? Because it's like, you got to face your problems, you got to, whatever. But it has a way of tying up very well at the end of the episode. And Aang realizes that like he has to go out of his comfort zone to think like an earthbender, to be the bender, the powerful bender that he's supposed to be.
Yeah. And what's so impressive about that is they put in just one episode, it's all coming back to me. They put in just that one episode such a key piece to the entire series.
Yes.
Theme and lesson and journey. That's they're so good. So good.
It's so subtle. Like it's those episodes where it's like we call them filler sometimes, and it's like, I don't feel like they're filler episodes, because you're getting to know more about the characters and like their dynamics and stuff like that. So it is helping the show. Like if we didn't have that episode, Aang wouldn't have built upon his knowledge of like earthbending and starting to change the way he fought, because from like season 2 on, he changes drastically, just the way that he fights in like combat and things like that. He's more head on, he's more creative, he's not just trying to divert enemies away, like he's like attacking them like full force, you know what I mean? And those little nuggets that they put in ahead of time laid the foundation for them to build on to later.